go by the name of Billy Abstract. Abstract Thought, straight out of West Philadelphia. The message and the idea was to create a dope streetwear brand that would create its own and live within that timeless genre. I always wanted to own my own business. When I was in college, I saved up money to start my own business. So I had a list of like 7 different businesses that I wanted to start, and I thought that there were 2 reasons I went into fashion first. Because I was young, and because the startup was the cheapest. So that was probably the reason I chose to go with Abstract first. But I have other businesses that I wanted to graduate into. Pretty much running a business is the same as like living life. It's like you're trying to get from point A to point B, but it's just not a straight line. There's going to be various things that just get in your way, so you just gotta go around them, but they're not obstacles. It's said that there's no such thing as a problem. Every problem is an opportunity in disguise. The first bit of advice that I would give them is create your strategy. Second piece of advice would be locate your financing. You don't necessarily have to use your money. There's a few different types of fashion. You can be trendy, you can be classic, and those are the two. When I made my choice, I said I wanted to be classic. My brand has survived for 5 years because we never rode any waves. We created our niche and we live in our niche. So that's a piece of advice I can give. In any other business, if you have a good product, the product sells because it's a good product. If you start a beverage company, grocery stores will take a chance on it because it's a decent product, it's healthy. They'll see if they can make some money on it, if you got good price points. Cars, if you can build cars and get them to the public, the people will buy them if they're at good price points and it's a good vehicle. Fashion is the one industry that it's all of that, but it's also temperamental. In the entire fashion industry, if you're trying to sell your product to larger retailers, in the entire country there are probably about 20 gatekeepers who make the decision whether or not your clothes are going to get shelf space. Just 20 people, if that. And they each buy or will place an order with you for different reasons. It's like all temperament. One person may place an order with your company because they saw celebrities wearing it. Another may place an order because they like it themselves. Somebody else may place an order because they think that you're particularly a cool person. So then it's like, that's the hard part. That's the hard part. That's weird. So if I could tell somebody, like, if I could give somebody advice 5 years ago, or who's starting up 5 years behind me, just really research the particular area that you want to sell your clothes in, and like figure out the best strategy to move your product. Because that's a very hard part. No, the creative renaissance is taking place in Philadelphia. I think that at this point right now, I think it's just beginning. You see, like, years ago or up until this point, everybody who started something in Philadelphia, they always left. And that's why you have like a Los Angeles or New York or an Atlanta as the mecca of fashion and music, because everybody went to those places. So you got people like me, you got people like Karan who have stuck around and they're like building it here. So it's like, it would take one generation to sacrifice and just stay here to build it. So as long as people like us and then people like you guys who are coming up, like looking at us and being inspired by what we're doing, just keep building it, it's only gonna get bigger. It's just gonna get bigger. And in some way, shape, or form, yes, I think Abstract Thought will always be around. As far as the clothes, the way I created the company, it would never play out. Each design is an abstract thought. So it's not a trendy brand. It could last forever in that way. The only way that Abstract Thought would ever stop is if I decided to stop it. But I have plans on graduating the brand into other things, restaurant, production company. other things. So it'll be alright. Because I have a lot of commonalities. I'm similar to the people in the areas that I came from, but I always saw a bigger picture. You see, I have like a very vivid imagination, and when I don't believe that anything is impossible. And like a lot of people you hear say stuff like, you gotta be realistic. Like when I was an accountant and I wanted to quit being an accountant, making a pretty decent salary to start a clothing line, some people said, go for it. More people said, be realistic. I said, I create my reality. Like it's whatever I imagine. Like if a person would have said, I want to fly, that's not realistic, but we're on airplanes now. So because somebody imagined it and said, no, we are going to fly, you see what I'm getting at? So you can't let anybody tell you what's real, because there is no such thing as what's real. So, I mean, like I said, I am similar to people, but at the same time, I think that my imagination and my drive is like what separates me. So I'm not a black sheep, I'm a gray sheep. Coalition. All right, so the Villa has been like one of the abstract thought retailers for a few years. So I have a good rapport with the folks in the office. So I bumped into Pat. He's like the vice president of marketing. He's like, Bill, I really like what's going on in Philadelphia. What if we could assemble like a team of influencers who are at like the helm of what's going on in the city? I say, yeah, I could help with that. I mean, I know everybody. He's like, well, would you spearhead it? I said, yeah, we'll make some phone calls. I called the people that I thought were strong players in the city. It's been good ever since. I think just me living naturally and doing what I'm doing, it automatically inspires. Thus you guys having me here to interview me. So that's that right there. And then the other part here, I've had different clothing lines in the city that'll reach out to me like, could I treat you to lunch just to pick your brain and just get information on how I can get my thing started. So yeah, always think abstract. It's your homeboy Billy Abstract, the genius. That's what we do here. Shout out to Love Black Shepherd. I said that right. I did that on purpose. All right, yeah, www.theclouds.com. I'm on Instagram, Twitter too, @BillyAbstract. That's what it is.